more on that story. We're joined tonight by energy analyst Chris Yelland. Chris, a very good evening to you. Goodness me, all this good news and optimism about the performance at Eskom. Is this the early Christmas gift we've all been waiting for from the utility?
I certainly hope so, and it looks that way. Not only do we feel it, but the data and the statistics tell us the same story, that there's been a consistent improvement in the very poor performance started at the beginning of this year as we proceed further and further into the year. So at the beginning of the year, we were in a very much worse situation than in the same time last year. And over the year, the difference between the energy availability factor 2022 and the energy availability factor 2023 has gradually and consistently lessened to the point where we are now, where the energy availability factor last week is about the same as it was a year ago. Mm-hmm. So this means that from a state very much worse than last year, we are now back to a similar sort of position that we were in last year. So just to remember, though, that even if we have no load shedding for every single day for the rest of this year, we will have performed worse this year than last year. We would have had more hours of load shedding and more energy lost to the productive economy this year than last year. So we are not where we should be, but we are heading in the right direction.
And is this the right plan to get us there, the one that the electricity minister and the management at Eskom are relying on? Because much of what I hear has to do with maintenance, and ensuring that it's done at the right time in the right places.
No, I think it's much more than just focusing on maintenance. Of course, Eskom has been working on the performance of his fleet, but that's not enough. At the same time, that's what the minister was saying, in parallel and at the same time, there's a lot of other initiatives taking place, which together result in where we are today. So Eskom has played an important role in improving its performance, but so has the private sector in bringing on a very significant amount of rooftop solar PV and battery energy storage. And this comes from the residential and the commercial sector. But in addition to that, the larger systems from the mining and energy-intensive sector also coming on stream, and the agricultural sector. These are all private sector initiatives, but they have been facilitated by removing unnecessary red tape and regulations. I'm not saying that we should have no regulation, but we should have no unnecessary regulation. And by streamlining these processes, it's starting to bring this new generation on board, coming from the wheeling of power across the grid, as well as a trading of electricity and self-generation and embedded generation. Of course, the public sector is also got to deliver, and the renewable energy IPP program has been very slow. So has the risk mitigation IPP program, but slowly, step by step, they will start delivering. And all of these things coming together is what is solving the problem. And that's what I like about the new Minister of Electricity, is that he is crossing the previous boundaries between the different players, Eskom, municipalities, government, that means the DPE, the DMRE, the COMTA, the DFFE, all these different government silos. The old mantra proposed by our Minister of Minerals and Energy is completely wrong. This idea that we should stick to our lane. No, we should break down the boundaries between these silos. We should work together. That is what the appointment of a single Minister of Electricity, whose sole task and accountability is to end load shedding. And this has brought a new sense of accountability and a new sense of urgency to the problem. It is a team effort, but he's managed to bring the team together. And that's a very notable achievement.
Well, others who've been singing Ramokgopa's praise are in fact saying that one of the things we may need to see, especially in terms of stabilizing an entity such as Eskom, is to see the electricity minister given more powers to interact and work with the board at Eskom following the resignation of Mpoma earlier this month. Some said, in fact, the public enterprises minister, Pravin Gordhan's role, his presence, or his relationship with the likes of the board had been counterproductive. Would giving some of his powers, or the powers that DPRE previously held, because we know it's being phased out as a portfolio, would giving those to the electricity minister actually fast-track the healing and the repair of Eskom?
Well, I think, as I say, it's a team effort, and the team has got to start working together. In the past, we saw these different departments on different pages not working together, and to an extent that still persists. But that is the role that the new Minister of Electricity has brought. He has managed to cross some of these boundaries and take accountability for reducing load shedding. I think there's still some way to go. And you know, the recent resignation of the outgoing chairman of Eskom is a sign, and that was actually confirmed today at the media briefing, of some kind of dysfunctionality of the relationship between the Minister of Electricity and the outgoing chairman of Eskom. And that dysfunctionality also exists between the chairman and the Minister of DPE, Public Enterprises, that's Pravin Gordhan. So today, the Minister of Electricity indicated that 3 months after his unsuccessful visit to Kuba, where he went there to find out what on earth was going on, and he came back visibly annoyed and said that he'd come out of that meeting none the wiser. So he promptly sent a letter off to the chairman of the Eskom asking him to please, as chairman, report back as to what's going on. And he indicated today that 3 months after this letter, he had still not received any response from Eskom or its chairman, despite several efforts of reminder. And that's a kind of a sign that things are not 100% right between the chairman and the Minister of Electricity. And of course, it gets to the whole question of governance, of having many masters, or who is your boss? Who do you report to? As the chairman of Eskom, do you report to the DPE minister, the DMRE minister, or the Minister of Electricity? These are some of the complex governance problems that are not helping.
Thank you very much for that. Chris Yelland, energy expert, speaking to us after the latest systems update by the Electricity Minister Kgosientsho Ramokgopa that took place this morning.